Obviously, you guys had to get 3. You had to get 3 smacks back to back. Oh, God, man. Finally, I could come up here and I could tell you guys that Xbox is getting its own Blade. Now, I know there's a lot of arguments and discussions going around about whether or not it's exclusive, and we can have that conversation. We'll definitely have that conversation. But man, Arcane Leon, or however you want to pronounce it, I'm sure some of you will correct me in the comment section below if I pronounced it incorrectly, is making a Blade game. And not only are they making a Blade game, they're making a third-person action-adventure game. Looks really good. I actually have to say that they really impressed me on the aesthetics. Now, I know a lot of people were, not really liking because it looked a little cartoony compared to what you would expect from a Blade, and some people didn't like how it was a little, what's what I'm looking for? It was a little friendly. It wasn't dark and gritty, and I think most people would, combine Blade to having a dark, gritty type of aesthetically look, and I agree to a point. I do think that if you expected the game to look different than how Arcane generally makes games, then I don't know what you were expecting. Now, as far as the dark gritty, that's really constructive criticism, but I don't want you guys really looking into that. I want you to be, just looking at that as that's the initial launch trailer. I personally look at that as something where it's like, look, we don't really want you to know this is Blade right off the bat. Does that mean the game isn't going to be dark and gritty, or is it going to be, real lightheartedness? I think you're going to find a good middle ground. Like, this game and this particular individual known as Blade has always been an R-rated type of superhero. So, especially how the actual Marvel representative said it's going to be more of an adult themed game. And I think we can all agree on that. Blade cannot be a child friendly game. That's got to have that big M on the case. I think we can all agree on that. So let's cop this back a little bit. First off, I want to point out you guys were wrong. There is countless comments in my previous videos where I said that Xbox needed its own Marvel game. And the reason that I really went into that is because not only did PlayStation have Spider-Man, they also secured Wolverine. And I didn't want a world where there's all these Marvel IPs on PlayStation, but there's none on Xbox. So you guys were wrong. I was right. Okay. And I know what you guys can say, but Addict, they don't need Blade. It's just nice to have. Well, the actual company disagrees with you. They went out and they secured this. They found the right partnership and made it work. I don't know how this went down. What I was told, and giant grain of salt here, is when the Indiana Jones deal was being finalized to be renegotiated to be in a Microsoft exclusive, and we saw that in the actual FTC hearing. That is when they went ahead and got the Blade IP. I don't know if that's true or not. That's just what I'm being told. Want you guys to be very transparent on. I don't know if that's true, but the fact that they went out, they knew, look, if we don't get any Marvel property, there might be a chance that we'll never get a Marvel property. I always under the speculation, because of the Spider-Man relationship on the movie end, Marvel and Sony had such a good relationship that maybe it wasn't even possible for Xbox to snatch any of the Marvel IPs. That's why I was so adamant on them pushing the DC in, because at least I know for a fact there's a lot of thirst over there. They want to do better with that brand. So that's why I was really pushing for that. Bravo, Xbox. Bravo. Not only did you get a Marvel IP, you got one of the most recognizable ones that's not in MCU. And what I say about that is, obviously there's a movie coming out, and I think that movie is extremely important to the game as well. But Blade was one of those first MCU movies that came out and made comic book movies a little bit popular. And what I mean by that is, I didn't know anything about the comic book world. I didn't. But I watched Blade 1, 2, and 3. And I don't even know in how long it took me to know that Blade was a comic book hero while watching these movies. I don't know if I found out after the first or second one. Maybe I didn't find out until after I watched all three of them. But it's good that Microsoft was able to secure this because they need it. Now, let's talk the timed exclusivity. Now, for some reason, Microsoft didn't put on any marketing promotion whatsoever that they're the ones that's going to be making this game. I don't even think there's an Xbox logo on it. It just says Arcane and Marvel. And maybe that's a Marvel thing. Maybe they want them to be front and center. But, you know, if you look at the Spider-Man thing, those games are exclusive. Wolverine and Marvel are exclusive to the PlayStation platform. So to me, that shows that Marvel has no problem making stuff exclusive as long as there's money being backed up for that situation. I find it hard to believe, this is myself, and maybe you guys can put in the comment section below if you disagree, I'm sure some of you do, that PlayStation has more money to secure those than Xbox. This is one of those titles where I think Microsoft would definitely back the truck up however millions they need to make that an exclusive, to make it worth Marvel's time. Arcane is a very profitable studio. I know a lot of people want to point at something like Redfall, but they didn't make Redfall. You know, that was Austin. This is the studio that made Dishonored, that made Deathloop, all these highly rated games. You know, people love these games. And to me, they make immersive worlds very well. They put a really emphasis on abilities, and I think that's going to be very good when it comes to a Blade game. And I think that, you know, the fact that they are willing to not make a first person, they're willing to go to third person, I think's a huge step in the right direction. You know, because the exclusivity thing, it's just like, we didn't know Indiana Jones was an exclusive game to the Xbox platform, to the FTC hearing, and it came out during testimony at that time. So to me, if this was out of the ordinary, if all these games have came out openly, like Starfield, like, you know, all these games, Starfield, Indiana Jones, Elder Scrolls 6, and they just came openly out and put that Xbox stamp on those, but this one they didn't do it, I would say, yeah, it's looking pretty bad. It's not going to be an exclusive, but that's not the case. You know, they just recently said Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be on the Xbox platform. We found out Indiana Jones is there because of because of the court hearings with the FTC. So to me, even though it is worth speculating, because I do feel like Xbox needs to do better in communicating, I don't know why they wouldn't come out openly and say, maybe because the FTC has been very vocal that they're going to continue to fight them over the ABK deal. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe they don't want to give them more ammunition. You know, put in the comment section below why you guys think Xbox is holding back that it's going to be an Xbox exclusive. Or, you know, put in the comment section below if you think it's going to be a PlayStation exclusive. This is a big day for Xbox. This is a big day for Xbox fans. It's a big day for the ecosystem. Now, I know a lot of people say that Addict doesn't matter if it's an exclusive or not, as long as it's in Game Pass Day 1. I don't agree on that one either. There are certain things where you need to lock stuff down to your platform. There are certain things where just having it in Game Pass for value isn't enough. Xbox needs to build more of an identity in the console market. And I know Game Pass is the push, not necessarily Xbox anymore. But I personally feel like the ecosystem needs to be pushed, and Game Pass and the Xbox platform are just pillars to that ecosystem. And I think that's the way things need to be pushed. They don't need to be pushed just in Game Pass, because I feel like that's the reason they don't go after marketing deals anymore, timed exclusives, licensing games, is because they're so obsessed with putting their value in Game Pass. And they know dealing with these variables is going to make that more expensive. It costs money to work with Marvel. It costs money to work with Star Wars or Harry Potter. That's why they would prefer to build their own original IPs or sequels to these IPs, because that costs less money. But anyway, put in the comment section below what you guys feel about this. Curious to hear your guys' opinion. If you like the video, definitely hit the like button. It's always appreciated. And if you enjoyed the content, man, you made it to the end of the video. I make weekly videos. Definitely subscribe to the channel. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. This is Addict. I'm out of here. Peace. This is Blade we talking about, guys. Ooh.